Hello everyone and welcome to the What If Roundtable. The real what if is the friends we made along the way. I'm MasakoX and joining me is of course Sophie B.
Hey guys.
But unfortunately it won't be for the entire stream because unfortunately it's all down with the lurgy and stuff like that. 1 second.
Smokey pooed on the curtain. That's why the other day when she licked me, she smelled poo. She's been eating poo off the curtain.
Oh. Oh. Yeah. Well, sorry about that, folks. I found out there was a bit of a household thing. Turns out our cat, who has ended up being pooping on some of our curtains. And
Oh dear.
we thought there was a weird smell, and it was just like, oh
Oh
man.
no.
And it was like, oh, and then the dog's been eating it. Oh.
Oh no.
It's like, oh jeez. I mean, it's just I had no idea about that. It was like, what?
What a way to kick off the stream.
Yeah, Logan, F for the curtains, and bless Philly. Yeah, we've got to give Philly some love. Yeah, she's going to try and see if she can clean them, but it's just like, oh, man.
I wish her the best of luck.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good thing I got, like, yeah, sorry, Smash Ultra. If it's any better, I've got myself some Scandinavian-style cider from Lidl, some Sutma, elderflower and lime cider, just to ease the pain. Okay, so after that bombshell, let's carry on. So the What If Roundtable is a place where you all can suggest what ifs to be potentially pitched for the channel, as well as helping support said channel, because again, it is definitely very much appreciated. And we do pay attention. Our moderators are here as well to pay attention to the chat, so everything's all right. And no, Gobi, yeah, fortunately Alpha hasn't kissed us yet, so we've not been sussed that she's been eating it. But knowing dogs, yeah, probably she did. But anyway, let's distract ourselves with some what ifs, shall we?
Before we were interrupted with that bombshell, just to kind of finish what you were saying, I'm only going to be around for about the first half hour, guys, because my allergies are killing me today. I am so stuffed up and just blah.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Allergies suck. And unfortunately, Hav is feeling under the weather too. So, unfortunately, don't worry, it's not the Rona. It's just, you know, allergies probably. So
yeah, I work outside for my day job, and yesterday I was cleaning out a hay barn, and it's just wreaked havoc on my allergies. So
yeah, so so again, we'll try and do our best. We shall do our best and continue on with the what if ring as best as we can. So no worries. Let's carry on with Viper Phoenix. And this is a 3 first. So it's Viper Phoenix says, Frieza catching the bad guy's fist at the end of Revelation F. It's funny, you know. Once I was an evil conqueror set on destroying anything in my way and taking whatever I wanted. Then I made some real, genuine friends along the way who only wanted the best for me, as I do for them. But you're different. Powers up to Golden with an evil chuckle. I'm going to enjoy breaking you. Like a Kit Kat bar. Whatever that is. Oh. Now, I recorded my lines for episode 4 of Revelation F, so that's gonna be fun. That is definitely fun. And I'm playing a lot of goons, a lot of Zunian goons, so I had to come up with, like, those are different voices. So
lots of different voices.
Yeah, bit of improv, but hey, we can make it work. I definitely think we can make it work.
Yeah. And tune in if you want to hear me as some more pui pui.
Makes and your pui pui is very intrigued, as in most of the lines are like, oh. But most of the time pui pui is a very curious soul, so it is justifiable. Gobi, what if Saiyans retained a sense of humor but were physiologically incapable of laughter? Probably just like communicating their amusement or something like that, or they would come up with some other way of expressing enjoyment at a joke. So probably just along the lines of just like either rattling their tails or swishing their tails in some way, or coming up with just some different other means that would be just as intimidating and very fitting towards, Saiyan lifestyles and all that. All right, and let's see. Viper Phoenix goes. One sec. Viper Phoenix says, just asking, did you all see the KK Slider Chala song I linked? I did. That was definitely a good one. That was very, very good. I like that.
Very, very
thanks
fun,
for sharing, Viper. And Viper again says, this might sound selfish, but seeing as I sadly let the drive on my own, I wanted to state it officially. Masako and friends, that I would like to help out with stuff in the future if possible. Oh, well, thanks, Viper. But again, the best way you can do it right now is through the RoundTable and Super Chats, and definitely contributing to the What If universe as intended. But we do appreciate your sentiments. And again, everyone out there supporting us, it is very, very appreciated. And we do very much love having you here. So thank you so much. So. Yeah. And Viper Phoenix says, ultimate power for Goldo. Wishes to not have to breathe to live. Boom! Instant infinite time stopping. Yeah. Then he'll have an infinite amount of time to stop being a jerk. I'm working on it. Jeez. All right. Gobi. What if Goku's head injury resulted in visual snow coupled with photophobia?
Oh, jeez.
Basically, that probably would impede him being able to, do a lot of his training, because there'd be a lot of these kind of distractions in his visual cortex. So unfortunately, I probably won't. Yeah, he probably wouldn't be able to cope very well with all the kind of different stimulations and all that.
Unless this could serve as an alternate take on the idea of what if Goku was blind, where he doesn't actually have full on blindness, but he winds up learning blind fighting because of the visual snow and photophobia. That might be an interesting way to approach that particular take. Just something that Grandpa Gohan tried to teach him in order to combat the issues that he has with his visuals.
Yeah. No, I think I made it work. And Viper, it says new groove scene waitress. We got orders for 2 bugs, black with pink goo, 2 weed surprises with an order of tar, and an order for mulch with ice. Got all that, hon? Goku. Is that 2 medium rare bug steaks with seaweed salads and a side order of soup and a dessert brownies and a bowl top with ice cream. Got it! So, there you go. Omar Stockley. What if Goku received a split personality, not unsimilar to Launch when he bumped his head? Almost like a Doppio Diavolo case. Ah, Doppio. Atashi no kawaii Doppio. It's like a... Oh, yes. Well, basically, you would end up having Goku just doing the... Like that kind of thing. Having that kind of having a phone call in his head to the Kakarot. So Kakarot he'd have on some kind of phone. But then it's some kind of banana. Because he's a monkey. So, yeah. I definitely think it could be similar work. Okay.
Anybody else?
But in terms of split personality, oh, what? Sorry.
Smash Ultra said you're almost breaking up, and I wanted to know if anyone else is having audio issues or if it's just him.
It might be the internet, probably. But it might be my internet because the bit rate sometimes is a little bit is being a bit flaky. So hopefully it should settle itself down. But I'm coming through clear for Sophie and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So, but in terms of split personality, probably it would just be almost like beast mode would be Kakarot. He just then convert into kind of beast mode for intensity, and then just kind of have that blank slate in his normal Goku form. So, just trying to understand all the different personalities and whatnot. Okay. Viper Phoenix says that one scene from Super Krillin. I want you to hit me as hard as you can. Really? Yes! Do it! Goku to Shenron. So that's why we had to summon you, cause, ooh. It got a little messy. Let's just say that.
Oh gosh, poor Krillin.
Viper Phoenix then says, "Hey Masako, remember weeks ago when I asked you all if you would ever do Daughter of the Sea? I made some self-made lyrics using Vegeta instead, and then unsaw it won't let me. The super chats won't let him link the lyrics. At them at me, Viper on Twitter, and I'll take a look at them. I shall take a look at them if you just at me on Twitter. Then you can do that." Omar Stockley again says, "On an unrelated note, I'm also currently putting some of the finishing touches on that book I mentioned. You should be able to find it on Wattpad soon, unless you want to check it out sooner." That's okay, Omar. Just link it to me when you are good to go. So just link it to me on Twitter. Gobi, what if dying will bullets existed in Dragon Ball? Dying will bullets.
Oh, that's from Katekyo Hitman Reborn, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is.
Gosh.
It's in terms of that, internal person safety switches off in exchange for the risking their life and able to harness great. So basically, it's almost like the thing that Choji has, like burning calories for extra power. Well, yeah. So essentially, if it were that the case, it would almost be like, well, you don't need Super Saiyan. You just have these dying will bullets, really, to power up and stuff.
It behaves similarly to like a really, really high potential Kaioken. So it's almost just kind of like Kaioken times 50 in a bullet.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Gobi says that their clothes would fly off. I'm thinking, wait a minute.
In the beginning of the manga, the manga started off as a gag manga and then actually became like an actual like shonen series with a plot and stuff like that at first. And so at the beginning of the manga, when the dying will bullets were like a core thing and it was all about funny and gags, anytime the main character came back with a dying will bullet, his clothes would just fly off of him. And that got done away with when the manga started taking itself a little bit more seriously.
I was just thinking, because I was thinking, wait a minute, this isn't Senran Kagura. Yeah, because apparently, they get damaged with their clothes falling off. Right. Okay.
Oh gosh.
So it's like that then, is it? Okay. Okay, Omar Stockley again. Idea for a joke, what if? What if Goku landed in the hood or in prison like Megamind? Probably would be the prison baby. Probably almost be like this weird kind of alien that landed in the prison, like almost like loads of folklores and legend. But I think the prisoners would take Goku under their wing. Well, but otherwise it would be known as Kakarot, or the baby.
You'd wind up with two different versions of a villainous Goku, because if he landed in a prison like the one that Megamind wound up in, he would have a very cartoonish perception of heroes and villains, and so he would become a villain with showmanship if that was the case. If he landed in the hood, it would be a situation, I think, where he would have to adapt to just the typical means of survival that come from living in those kinds of rough streets and stuff like that. He would be a tougher, more no-nonsense person, I think.
Oh, yeah. No, not messing about. I can imagine Goku say, Nah, man. I ain't no messing about. What are you trying to pull, eh? You trying to pull me? Is that, what are you trying to do? You messing with my crap? You wrestling with my crew? It's like, I'll freaking deck ya. Freaking deck you, yeah, bleeding pillock.
Oh God, the fact that you gave him accents from that area instead of like the typical like American hood accent, like that. Oh God.
Well, it's almost as intimidating as, hey, I'm Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. I'll freaking deck you.
I'm gonna deck you.
I'm just gonna take you right there and twat you. You starting something? You starting something with my bro Zamasu? Oh, you don't know what you're doing with man. No, it's okay. Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black.
Scouts Goku Black, the best.
Oh no, seriously, I do a convention regularly up in Newcastle. So I'd almost like try and like I'll do a Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black for wherever I am in the country. So a Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black, but Geordie, as in like, oh, why are you, man? Why I pet?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. Okay, Gobi. Disorder of the day. It's what if Goku or Gohan were incurred with hyphema? It's a condition that occurs when blood enters the front chamber of the eye between the iris and the cornea. Decrease in vision. Well, usually, again, with these types of things, they become easily adaptable to be able to use ki and other means to be able to see stuff instead of using their sight alone. So being able to adapt. Adaptability would be the name of the game, and Saiyans are very good at that.
Yeah, very, very good.
Oh, yes, 2D from Gorillaz has it. All right, okay. But, again, I think Saiyans could be easily adaptable. Well, Gobi, you throw out all these different disorders and, like, you know, conditions I had no idea exist.
Yeah, well, yeah, Gobi, like, most of your what ifs you've asked us have been like, hey, what if this character had to live with this particular medical condition or disorder? And it's like, yeah, you're confused that you've become the disorder guy in people's minds.
But in a way, that's kind of cool because he's a guy. He's the guy. As in, like,
well, yeah, you do at least have a title. People recognize you as, hey, it's the one who's always asking what ifs about like disorders and medical conditions. And honestly, they're very, very interesting to think about. Some of the ones that have been on offer that have been put up have been very interesting.
You could easily talk to Stinko Man. It's going, hey, Stinko Man, everybody says you're the guy, but I want to be the guy too. No way, you're just a kid. Maybe when you're older. 20XT6. I don't care if his Homestar Runner is 20 years old. I don't care. It's funny.
I agree.
And of course,
wholeheartedly.
And then here comes the Snicker Man.
Hey, shut up, kid.
There goes the Snicker Man. All right. Viper Phoenix. Future Trunks. Sees Yamcha. Hey, Dad. What the? I thought you told Goku you were Vegeta's son. Everyone looks at Vegeta. I never said I was a man.
I'm sorry, that's a new one.
What are you trying to do? Are you branding me as one? We Saiyans are very complex creatures.
You've killed me. I wasn't expecting it.
We got a Dodoria situation right here. You branding me as a man then?
Oh my god.
Oh
god, that killed me.
that threw me. Okay. Alright. Panda Walk. Gohan's rival Cell Jr. I've trained 7 years for the perfect rematch, and you did nothing but study? Oh, never mind. Let's help the inept great god. Omar saying, okay, so hear me out. What if King Vegeta really overthrow the old Saiyan King for being weak? This would take place around the time the Saiyans and Tuffles lived in peace. Oh yeah, I can imagine that the old Saiyan hierarchy mainly was like dead man's boots. You know, if the king became too weak, there'd be someone else to take over, and yeah, basically, it would just it would end up just being a case of like, hey, you're not strong enough, so there you go.
Yeah, I definitely tend to headcanon that the whole like Vegeta royal dynasty and stuff like that was started through usurpation, just because it seems like the most logical thing for the Vegeta family to do.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Okay, Dark Snake. What if the DBZ Sailor Moon edition with DBZ cast being Sailor Moon and her enemies? Like Goku Sailor Moon, Chi-Chi is Tuxedo Mask, Gohan Mini Moon, Bulma is Mercury, Vegeta Jupiter. Well, that's ironic. Tien Mars, Launch Sailor Neptune. It would be interesting. But it would just get me to the whole meme of Chi-Chi says, and now I must depart. And now I must depart. Goku, but you didn't do anything. And
the biggest issue that I think I would have with this scenario is that I don't think that Dragon Ball's villains are very conducive to the style of Sailor Moon sorts of shenanigans and magical girl episodic monster of the week stories.
No, I see what you mean. And Vegeta as Jupiter? Really? Really? Okay. That's just funny. Okay. Viper Phoenix. What if, like in the Funimation dub of DBZ Episode 1, Gohan actually became an orthopedist? Like he told Bulma he was going to become. Oh, wait. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, Gohan said that. Like,
oh, wow.
I'm going to become an orthopedist.
It's like,
gosh. It's been so long.
But Gohan, your name's not Arthur.
Oh my gosh.
and yeah, so but if in that case, you know, hey, Vegeta can become a proctologist, so hey, Gohan can become an orthopedist. He can be whatever he wants to be.
You got to remember that there are plenty of lectures and conventions and stuff like that for doctors as well. So he would have so many places that he could go to avoid fighting, just like he already does.
Yeah, and also he could easily go by following my link to sponsor with Skillshare. Oh. But no, kidding. Okay, Craig Twitcher. What if Jiro was Bulma's son? If Jiro was Bulma's son, that would almost be like a fallen kind of like, you know, Dr. Jiro, the son of Dr. Bulma. He could not understand why she would hang out with all of these weird creatures from different worlds. He decided to become his own scientist, free from the shackles of the Capsule Corp bureaucracy. It would almost be like a tragic story of like Bulma saying, you're gonna have to take out my son. My son has become too powerful with knowledge about science.
I guess it would be a situation where a villain comes back in time, because in that case, Jiro couldn't be an old man in the series.
He'd be a younger one.
Unless he went further back than planned. But yeah, he'd be a younger villain, that's for sure. I don't know how I feel about that idea.
I mean, it would certainly, narratively speaking, be intriguing at the very least, but, you know, it would require a little bit more work. Omar Stockley was elaborating on his what it's saying. The old king would have a family of his own, obviously, and to prevent any further uprisings, Vegeta's orders an execution for them. Yeah, I could see that happening as well.
Yep.
On Darksnake carries on, Blonde launches Sailor Uranus, Future Trunks as Pluto, Krillin as Luna, 18 as Artemis, and Sailor Saturn as Lord Beerus. Oh wow, because Sailor Saturn is quite chaotic and all that stuff. But hey,
why in the world did Krillin and 18 wind up with the cats?
I don't know, but honestly, you know, come on, Goku, you must use your tiara and say Moon Tiara Magic. It just reminds me of it reminds me back in the day. And then Future Trunks is Pluto. In between time and space, I've seen enormous twists that I've never seen before. Oh no! Queen Beryl, you need to be stopped!
You need to be stopped!
Yeah.
Oh god.
Manifesto. Don't say it. Don't you dare! Goku. On your left! Zipped by Vegeta. Oh, come on!
Oh, good stuff. I like that.
Alright, Manifesto. What if the android... No! Cyborgs could sense ki and energy. Well, technically, Android 16 could sense energy. He had an... Although technically it wasn't energy per se, it was a radar. He had a radar built within him that could sense ki. So,
yeah,
you know, they basically was like, because my radars detect Son Goku and stuff like that. So... Technically,
I feel like it's more just a situation that 16 already could, but he was deferring to 17 and 18, basically out of politeness, considering that he was stronger than either of them.
Yeah.
But if the others could sense energy, I mean, I don't know that they would bother using it all that much because they didn't have much of an interest in hurrying to get to Goku in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, "No, man, that's whack. We're just gonna do what we feel like," pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, like they wanted to take the long way around and get a full tour of the world that they were gonna want to play around in, more or less.
Manifesto also says if 16 was a cyborg instead of a full-on robot, would that make a difference? Probably not, given how the story doesn't really bring much. There's not much call for it, to be honest. There's not really much allusions to it, other than maybe when he's on the counter with the Briefs family that they find out he's part human. Maybe that might bring out some more narrative things about him being the son of Dr. Gero, or from what he can remember. It depends on how much of his memory's been wiped. So, there's a lot of variables in that one. Darksnake, if DBZ was like Tenshi Muyo, who would you choose to be the main harem besides Goku?
Oh gosh.
I mean, to be honest, like, you know, Chi-Chi from back in the day would be a good, decent Ryoko.
Here's the question, though. Are we doing this as in like it's the Z fighters as members of the harem, and so like Chi-Chi would be in the Tenchi position here, or is it which female Dragon Ball characters would you stick in a harem with Goku or somebody else, since it's set apart from Goku?
I think probably it's like if you had Goku as Tenchi, who would you have in the harem? Probably with Chi-Chi, Suno would be the Ayeka type thing, as in like, but then again, Ayeka is royalty, so no, Chi-Chi would be Ayeka.
Oh gosh, Chi-Chi, especially early Chi-Chi has that sort of stuck up
and
princess.
Yeah, Bulma would be Ryoko because Ryoko is a scientist. Oh no, that's Washu, yes. No,
yeah,
Washu.
Bulma would be Washu. I don't know. Shoot, man. I would probably say like the personality splits are very, very much not 1-to-1 here. But Ryoko could probably be blonde Launch.
Yeah, I would go with that. All right, Arthur E. King. What if humans could gain mutant powers like MCU My Hero Academia when stressed, like Super Saiyan? Not just power, but some ability that keeps them relevant post Frieza. I'd be down for that. You know, something that makes them interesting, something that can easily kind of add some, ability to them and add some intrigue. So yeah, I'd be down for it. But it just depends really. There are so many different powers you could have. But in terms of keeping them relevant, I totally agree, Arthur. Gobi, you say, what if DB had AR? What does that mean? As in
augmented reality?
That's what I was thinking when I first saw this, but I'm not sure what you mean, Gobi. So what do you mean by AR? So we'll come back to that, but we'll just say for Kirby160 from the subreddit, what if Frieza killed augmented reality? Oh, okay. Augmented reality probably would just be the Scouters would be augmented reality. Bulma probably would have been put more effort into making those work and maybe having a means to be able to sense energy via the Scouters in a bit more of an intuitive way. So
the Scouters kind of behave like that already, since they were sort of just that they were that whole like visor for reading power levels and stuff like that. If you just kind of took it into the more like modern era, so it's not just numbers and symbols on a screen, maybe it could do something a bit more intense with the visuals, a la something out of like Iron Man or something like that. But
definitely.
But
bit more scientifically based. Kirby says from the subreddit, what if Frieza killed everyone on Namek but didn't get immortality and so started to go to Earth for revenge? But Dr. Briefs knew that he was coming and got Jiro's help to fight him.
We'd wind up with a Dr. Wily, Dr. Light situation. They would create the robot masters, and then Jiro would turn them against the Earth once the threat was dealt with, and Dr. Briefs would have to unleash his version of Mega Man to save the day.
Yes, exactly, because everyone seems to forget that Jiro was like, he wasn't an enemy of the planet. He was basically, he wanted to see Earth thrive and prosper. So obviously, if the Earth was being threatened, then he would have to put his differences aside. Certainly.
Yeah, he wants the Earth to thrive according to his rules.
Yes, through technical innovation. Smash Ultra. What if Earth and humans never existed in Dragon Ball because they're based on the real world and not based on food, clothes, and time, just to make it more fictional? It probably just the Beastmen would be more of a common thing. You know, bit more anthro, much more kind of like different animals and stuff like that. With Goku sort of being the biggest anomaly going, like he's a humanoid person. So again, it'd be much more of a mystical adventure and a bit less grounded in reality. So therefore, you can actually have a bit more madcap things going on and stuff. So you have a bit more creative freedom in that regard. Craig Twitchell. What if Jiro was forced to supply the entire Universe 17 for the Tournament of Power? If he did, probably again, a threat of the Earth being destroyed. You know, put his differences aside and all that. And if Jiro never gave up the ghost in future Trunks' timeline. If Jiro was still around, he probably would just, like, try and come up with another type of android that can, like, you know, stop 17 and 18, because they pretty much destroyed the planet. Like, they destroyed the Z-Fighters, but they've gone too far. So Jiro would probably have to, like, make himself stronger than them to, you know, stop them and stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't want to rule over Ashes. His idea is, you know, to make the human race better. He's kind of like he's kind of like this late stage transhumanist who wants to improve mankind through the use of robotics and cybernetics, but it's very, very much actually akin to the stuff that goes on in like the Mega Man series. So that Briefs and Jiro question was funnily very apt to tie into this one.
Yeah,
in much the same way.
Absolutely.
If Jiro had to deal with the fact that the androids basically went way too far overboard, he'd wind up putting his mind to use in restoring the world, so that hey, now I can properly rule over it.
Yeah, he would definitely be an ultimate super fighting robot. So, Arthur King says another Jiro. What if Jiro created two androids to reincarnate his son? One was 16, the other a biodroid like Cell, but made entirely from human cells, and they fuse. Okay, like he uses technology in a way to be able to make two facsimiles of his son to fuse into one, and then ultimately become humanoid, but with big buff powers. I mean, it would certainly be an interesting question about humanity and all that stuff. And it'd be like, yeah, sure, Jiro, you made a technically perfect human copy of your son, but is it really the same version of your son? Like, identity and all that stuff. You could easily have a good
lots of identity questions, which is always good to explore for a character like 16. Could always have plenty of opportunity to get character development. Kind of pushes him away from Jiro, whether or not the two different entities are distinct enough that they don't want to fuse into a single being. That could be played with. There's some potential there.
There is definitely potential. I agree. Okay.
With that said, I am going to go ahead and say goodbye, guys. I was only going to stick around for the first half hour, and I'm going to go take some medication and lie down.
Of course, Sophie. Thank you very much for joining us, and I will continue my best to hold the fort. But anyway,
have a good one, guys, and good luck, Masako.
Have a good rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.
All right, so let's carry on as best as we can for now. So, okay. Kirby then asks, what if Future Trunks is the villain of the Android arc? It'd be interesting almost to, like, say, like, you know, the ironic twist in the end that Future Trunks is, like, almost pulling like a stocking, almost. Like, he then ends up destroying everybody and saying, I was the villain, and everyone was, like, not being able to process it. So, certainly a bit of a twist there. Red Dragon Haverock was also feeling a bit under the weather, so unfortunately he wasn't able to make it as well. So, yeah, you just have me. And then Craig Twitcher says, what if everyone's attacks were named after their name puns? If they were, probably would be able to just be considered along the lines of, like, you know, everything would just be a bit more apt, like a bit more close in terms of identity. And by the way, we're gonna have the 5-minute call. So if you got your what ifs coming in, Your super chats, you got 5 minutes, people. Panda Walk as Bobbity.
Majin Buu is strong, and you like fighting strong people, right?
And Seljuna. I'm considering a donation. Vegeta. This sounds awfully familiar. Smash Ultra. What if the whole Dragon Ball Z story was to protect the Saiyan race as if the Saiyans were the kindest race in the universe? In terms of their benevolence, it would almost be like, you know, they for the longest time, the Saiyans were vilified as these evil types of creatures. But then it turns out they were actually beneficial and very benevolent. And of course, you know, as they say, history was written by the winners. Frieza could easily distort them to being actually a very nasty race, where in fact, as a matter of fact, could be good. Very thematically interesting, definitely. Dark Snake X5. Goku, Spirit, Moon, Prism! And Vegeta,
Gallic Gun, Thunder!
There we go. Joey Robertson. What if Bardock's Riot Javelin pierced the Death Ball and Frieza, ending him as Bardock and Planet Vegeta were destroyed? This may alter the allegiance of the surviving Saiyans in an interesting way. Oh, absolutely, Joey. And if you want to check out my What If Bardock Defeated Frieza, that would pretty much just, that would be how things go down. So, it's in the aftermath of stuff. And Craig Twitchell then says, future April Fool's What If could be what if Jiro utilized magic as well as science? Okay, Craig, we'll definitely make a note of that. But we definitely have to find a reason as to why Jiro would, you know, swallow his pride and not spurn magic in any way, because he is a man of science. So we do have to come up with a reason as to why he wouldn't do that. Okay, Manifesto, I have to say it. I don't like Vegeta using Destruction Key. I think it's hypocritical since he mocked Black and Toppo for throwing their pride aside. I mean, okay, that is fair enough, but I'm pretty sure that if I were the writers, I would pretty much I would call him out on that almost. Be like saying, you know, throwing their pride away and stuff. But I suppose in a way, it's just like he's like, hey, Beerus, I kind of want to like learn under Beerus and stuff, and I want to learn something that Kakarot isn't. So he got swept up in that regard. But yeah, if I were the writer, I'd definitely call him out on that. Like, you know, Goku would say something or something. Podo. How the frick did Shin not know about Beerus in Super? He's been the main Supreme Kai for millions of years and Beerus only slept for 39 years. What the hell, Shin? Hey, Podo, there are lots of questions that we have about Shin. You know, this is relatively benign. It is just relatively not that big of a deal. Because, you know, it's child's play for Shin. He doesn't know a lot of things. God of Anarchy. What if Vegeta had the personality of Goro Majima from the Yakuza series? Oh, Goro Majima. Let me just see who that was. Oof. I'm guessing probably, you know, a bit of a maverick in that regard. So, probably just be a bit more braver, a bit more charismatic than he is, instead of just being a bit of a jerk in general. Dark Snake X5. What if Bardock was female? Probably, you know, and you'd have Gine as a dude, or something like that. But if Gine wasn't, and it was just another male Saiyan, like maybe Toma, probably Kakarot would be a very much different prospect and stuff. So, no guarantee whether Kakarot would have just been as strong. Lord Explosion Murder. What if Kid Vegeta met Kid Bulma and it went like a Lilo and Stitch route?
Ah, yes. Ohana means family.
And stuff like that.
It's like, why are you touching me?
I'm not touching you in that regard.
Oh, you're touching me!
And stuff like that. So, there you go. But in all reality, it would just be, I think Vegeta would be a bit more receptive towards Bulma in that regard. Just in that, you know, discovering, a bit unfamiliar and stuff, you know, and Bulma would have intrigued him, certainly. Sam Hennis says, hi team, it's my birthday today and I turned 30 and I felt old. Midlife crisis aside though, I thought of how, well, happy birthday to you, Sam, by the way. I thought of how to polish my what if Trunks as an android idea. He's a clone with an android endoskeleton and no soul. I guess that could work. You know, if you were able to come up with a different, more complex means of describing what, you know, Trunks' construction was, then hey, cool. Extra development and all that stuff. But yeah, hope you have a good day, Sam. Craig Twitchell. What if Dragon Ball wishes worked like traditional D&D wishes? Yes. So you have to throw a dice for it. The magical dragon dice. So if you have to roll above a certain number for the wish to work, and if not, if you get a 1, then the opposite happens to you. So, bit of peril, bit of like consequences and jeopardy. I like the sound of that. By the way, everybody, I'd just like to say now that the super chats are now closed. Thank you very much for your contributions, people. I shall now get through the rest of the super chats. Okay. Lord Explosion Murder. What if when Goku was turned back into a kid, his memories were also reverted to back when he was a kid? That would certainly throw in a lot of dilemmas, and also I'd have to play the song, because if he had the memory of a kid, all the attacks and things that he would have learned through experience of training would have pretty much just gone out the window. So, yeah, you'd be back to Kid Goku in Dragon Ball. You know, yeah, that would definitely be bad. And if it were in GT, then probably you wouldn't have had him going off into space. Vandalia. What if the first real threat Goku ever faced turned good, like Mercenary Tao? It would have to be... He sort of turned good in a way, because he's now pretty much petrified of Goku. But if he did, then probably he would end up just being like almost like a missionary. He'd be Missionary Tao. So there you go. Cyborg Missionary Tao. Papa Podo. What if Kais do have reproductive systems, but it's just there as a backup plan in case anything happens to the tree? Probably it would just be like some kind of ritual that you have to do in order to activate your reproductive systems. It'd be a little bit weird if it would just like, you know, if they always had them. But I suppose really, you know, it would just be like, as you say, a last resort. So, and nothing really bad has happened to the tree, so it wouldn't really be called for. But interesting theory though, Podo. Toxin Lizard. What if Broly was sent to Earth with Goku? Well, if Broly was sent to Earth with Goku, it depends which Broly you're talking about here, but I'm guessing you're saying the original Broly. Probably, so long as if Broly didn't have a disruptive childhood and had like good stable family, like with Grandpa Gohan, he'd be okay. But then probably his emotional outbursts wouldn't happen until later. But then again, it could easily become a bit perilous, I would say. Manifesto. Whis. I know how to get Beerus in shape again. Plays hero from Battle of Gods. Beerus and Goku start sparring. Angry Beerus. Whis! Hey, that song from Battle of Gods is amazing. It's so good. That would jazz up anybody. So, Manifesto, good choice, I will say. Papa Podo. What if Cronoa was tsundere for her trunks, and seeing Mai with super trunks motivated her to finally make a move on her trunks? It'd be interesting to see how that kind of thing would work. You know, the Supreme Kai of Time bedding a mortal. But, I guess it could almost be like some kind of sweet, wholesome relationship in that sense. Not a traditional kind of romantic, reproductive relationship. But it'd just be cute. It'd be a wholesome thing, that's for sure. Because despite her being the Supreme Kai of Time, she'd be clueless about love. Aww. Paul Dunbar. Do you think Goku learned a lot of his bad habits from Grandpa Gohan? Well, he probably learned a lot of his bad habits because there was no Grandpa Gohan. Because he died because Goku squished him as an ape. So Goku had to kind of live on his own. So he didn't really have anybody for quite a few years telling him no. So that's why. So I don't think so, Paul. I think Grandpa Gohan had the best of intentions. Okay. Janik Okami. What if General Blue was recruited by Mercenary Tao and trained with cranes, or turned good and trained by Roshi? How powerful would his ability become? Probably he would have done better with Roshi, because Roshi probably would have been a bit more supportive of Tao. So, I think probably with Roshi. Oh, no. Basically, if he turned good, General Blue. Yeah, no, I'd say he's had a lot of potential. But in terms of Tao, probably would have ended up descending into stuff like that, into more evil. Joey Robertson. What if Hero had built an instant fusion ability between 17 and 18? Perhaps they could have beaten Cell and become the real, BBEG of the saga. I think probably that might have been enough to beat Semi-Perfect Cell. But I still ultimately think they would have been able to, Vegeta probably would have facilitated them turning perfect, so I think even if they did fuse, Vegeta's antics probably would have meant that they would have become, part of Perfect Cell anyway, unfortunately. Lord Explosion Merger. Do you guys watch JoJo, and who's your fave JoJo? I do watch JoJo, and Joseph Joestar from Part 2 is my favorite. So, again, you're Nigarundayo Smokey! And all that stuff. So, you know, Part 2 is the best. Yeah, so, okay, let's just check the next one. In fact, yeah, Smokey, the reason why our cat Smokey is called Smokey is after Smokey from, you know, that was when I just started watching JoJo. So, you know, our Smokey is named after Smokey. Okay, Smash Ultra. What if DBZ was also a kaiju battle with Great Ape Goku versus Cell X and Giant Piccolo versus Hirudegan? It would be awesome! Like, Giant Piccolo versus Hirudegan, that would be amazing. If it were, I think it'd be a lot more hype-inducing. Because Giant Monkey versus Giant Bug. That's amazing. So, yeah. Craig Twitcher, what if Mercenary Tower turned good? Well, as a lot of people would say, he would become a doctor. So, he probably would have retired from combat and stuff. So, he would have probably just ended up, like, doing good for the planet and whatnot. So, he would have come up with a different philosophy on life, certainly. Papa Podo. What if Chilai was the main babysitter of Azir? Oh, if somehow, like, Azir sort of reminded Chilai of somebody, of Frieza, but she didn't quite know why. So probably she'd be a cool babysitter. She'd be the cool one that let the kids stay up late, and have like candy all the time. She'd be the chill one, because you know, named Chilai and stuff. In Revelation F, I may or may not be alluding to her family, so do just stay tuned for that one. Okay, Smash Ultra. What if DBZ were like the X-Men? Well, Vegeta would certainly be Wolverine, and probably, you know, Master Roshi would be Xavier with the Academy of the Dragon Team. So, a bit more formulaic, a bit more formal. Fanboy78. What if Vegeta went full Super Saiyan against Frieza? If he did, probably would have been stronger than he was in the show, but still not enough to necessarily beat Frieza. It would have still been it would have been a massacre, unfortunately. Paul Dunbar. What if Gohan saved Zangia and eventually married her? I don't think Zangia would have taken him because, again, she's quite a bit older than him. But if Zangia was still alive, I can imagine a love triangle between her and Krillin. I could certainly save that. Podo. You should check out Undertale the Musical by Man on the internet. It's amazing. Oh, hey, I mean, I'm always down for a musical, Podo. So, yeah, show tunes. I'll be down for that. So, thanks for the recommendation. Craig Twitchell. What if White Knight Goku met Bulma Stark? I don't know who White Knight Goku is, but if Bulma Stark... Oh, like, Bulma Stark from the What If Bulma Trained Like Goku. Probably just along the lines of, you know, interesting innovation. Bulma might have been a bit more self-centered and stuff. So, you know, I'd have to see how that might work. Jaxo23. What if Goku was in One Piece? If he were, then probably Goku and Luffy would end up having loads and loads of battles and stuff, and they would be absolutely entertained by each other's power. They'd be good friends, I would say. PandaWalk301. What if Earth was a famous vacation spot for Universe 7, known for delicious food and martial arts? King Cold would warn his son not to blow up the place. You know what, PandaWalk? That would actually be a very, very interesting, prospect. In that, you know, King Cold was all about planets and stuff like that being useful for the entire empire. So, you know what? I feel like that actually is a really good idea. Like, now, son, if you're going to go and wreak your revenge on those monkeys, you do not scuff up the place, because it is very useful for the empire, don't you know? So, honestly, if you framed it that way, it could certainly easily be a very interesting plot point. And, you know, I would certainly say it's in keeping with the whole thing to do with, you know, King Cold and stuff. And again, you know, I know that Hav has said this before, but I totally agree with him that, you know, the whole thing with King Cold is that King Cold is cool. And that's got nothing to do with his name. That has definitely got nothing to do with the name pun and all that. So, I legitimately like King Cold as a character. He is definitely pretty cool in that regard. Okay. But certainly a lot more income. Capsule Corp would certainly be making loads of money. Okay, Lord Explosion Motor, what's your favorite JoJo opening? Oh, Bloody Stream. Absolutely. Bloody Stream. I mean, I did a Eurobeat cover of it, so it's, freaking amazing. So, that one, Bloody Stream. Red Dragon Force 2? What if Gabo reincarnated into Raccoon? Well, who's to say that he didn't? The whole connection with Raccoon and 16. Big buff guy who's pretty strong. I could see that. Yeah, if he did, then, I mean, honestly, though, there wouldn't be much connection or association because he wouldn't have known about people and stuff like that. Maybe he might have been a bit more daring, with the whole, Goku and stuff, but I don't think it would have ultimately led to anything. Okay, Manifesto. Goku.
How dare you give me a banana to eat?
Vegeta.
We hate bananas! Get it through your heads, people! That's very insensitive.
It's funny because they're monkey. Gabe Vespa. What if when Piccolo Jr.'s egg was floating down the river, it caused him to have amnesia and was raised by the elderly couple who found him? Probably that would have meant that he would have, he probably would have meant that he wasn't going to be, he wouldn't end up being as evil. I mean, he probably would have been like a selfish little brat, but I think the farmer, the elderly couple probably would have, made him see sense and all that. So he probably would have been nicer than he was, but probably still a bit, not necessarily a nice person, but a bit more, friendly, or, not as nasty. Timothy Ron. What if Kid Chi-Chi joined Goku and the others? I'm pretty sure that if she did, she probably would have been a bit stronger. She probably would have been in much more admiration and understanding of Goku. And she would have probably had a chance to have a bit more adventure and stuff. So, I think probably just a bit more easygoing and understanding of Goku a bit better. Okay. Improv. Turtle Knight Gohan Skywalker versus Crane Lord Darth Kakarot, Dragon Wars Episode 5. Frieza Force Strikes Back. That famous scene. Okay. It's like, I don't really know the ins and outs of the scene. It's like,
no one ever spoke to you about your father. They told me enough. They told me you killed him. No, Gohan. I am your father.
That's the best I can do right now, as best as I can remember in terms of Star Wars stuff. So, sorry. But, I gave you something. Alright, Chrome Bison. In the 3-year gap before the Android saga, what if Bulma intercepted Dr. Jiro's secret lab and disposed of all of the artificial humans, including Cell? Vegeta probably would have been absolutely pissed off, because he wanted the challenge, and he and Goku pretty much told Bulma, no, don't do that. We want to fight them. That stuff. So, if she did, she probably would have ended up annoying Vegeta, like, badly. And it would depend on after, if, Trunks had been conceived or not, then that could have ended up with Trunks not being born. So, be a bit careful there, Bulma. Vandalia. What if in the future Trunks timeline, Gohan and Trunks met and recruited Videl? Probably Gohan might have gotten to know Videl a bit better. She probably might have trained a little more as well. But I don't really know. I mean, she probably would have just been an extra ally, sort of like what Future Mai is in Dragon Ball Super. So, sort of that dynamic, I guess? Manifesto. What if they never brought Super Broly back into the story? If they never did, I'd be so disappointed and angry. I mean, why, Toei? Why would you do that? But then, Manifesto, you've got to think about it this way. If they never did bring him back into the story, then how would we know about his existence? Well, we'd probably just be harping on about, oh, movie Broly is so dumb. We would have been just doing that for years and years and years. But now, thanks to that, we don't anymore. We don't moan about Broly, because we love Broly. It saved us doing a lot of less moaning. Connor McClory. What if Chi-Chi trained like Goku? We've seen Hercule and Bulma do some crazy stuff with it, so why not the beautiful lady who lives in Goku's house? Connor, well, you'll be looking forward to December's, What If, because it is going to involve Chi-Chi. So, I will leave it at that, but Connor, you are right on the money. We will be getting to that. Red Dragon Force 2. G-Force specialized gamer stats. Goldo in stamina, Rakuma in strength, Jason charisma, Berta in speed, Ginyu in Joe trades, and specializes in strength and charisma. Yeah, you got it in one there. I think that pretty much fits in everything. Smash Ultra. Akira used to draw, Toriyama used to draw cool vehicle designs. Why does his current designs look so bland like with Frieza? It's just changed and adapted. And, you know, Toriyama doesn't necessarily draw all the vehicles in Dragon Ball anymore. And he doesn't really draw them in person, but he is a lover of engineering and vehicles and cars and stuff like that. So if he were to, like, do illustrations on his own, he probably would be a bit more detailed. But again, you know, styles adapt over time. So, you know, it's just a case of, like, what he gives to the staff and whatnot. Okay, Manifesto. What if demons were actually included into Dragon Ball Super? Probably would have more of, like, Deborah. Like, we would actually see more of the demon realm. Instead of it being relegated to Super Dragon Ball Heroes, we would actually see it in Dragon Ball Super. Like, the Heroes timeline being brought into Super. That's what would happen. Radrimon. What if Bacterian, the guy that faced Krillin in the tournament, trained like Goku and became a main Z fighter and or villain? If he did, he would certainly have to have some sort of, you know, his smell would certainly have to be a gimmick, because otherwise he'd just be another big, strong, dumb, tough fighter. He needs to have that gimmick still attached. So, you know, we'd have to, like, you know, go with that. Toxin Lizard. What if Goku was sent to Beerus' planet instead of Earth? If sent to Beerus' planet, Whis probably... Well, Beerus would have been asleep for starters. Whis probably would have been like, oh, this is some really interesting thing. Probably would have just found, like, the right person to be able to, like, give it to him, because Whis isn't going to be looking after a baby or a kid like that. That's just not his style. But he certainly would have handed it off to, like, a random mortal world and then kept an eye on him. So, certainly along those lines. Logan Ozlonsky, that's it. What if Raditz, Snapper, Vegeta, Turles, Broly, and Paragus all turn good? If they all turned good, it would really depend at the different, you know, different paces and stuff. But they probably might have been able to find a way to get off planet Vegeta and survive in some way. And then, obviously, with the Fates would have it in terms of storylines, they would have met and then probably would have just tried and, like, you know, rebuild the Saiyan reputation. Obviously, they couldn't rebuild the Saiyan race because, you know, no female Saiyans, but, you know, try and, like, redeem themselves. Red Dragon. What if Chi-Chi wished for Gohan to split his Saiyan side from his human side after Cell? Studious human and fighter Saiyan, win-win with Vegeta? Yeah, that might work. But again, at the same time, though, with these types of split things, who's to say that, you know, the studious human would be the same as the Gohan that we get? Because, you know, you can be greater than the sum of your parts as one person. So, if you just got rid of that, you know, the fighter Saiyan from the studious human, who's to say that that person's exactly the same? So, you know, Chi-Chi, be careful what you wish for. I would certainly have a bit more peril, or Chi-Chi regretting her decision. So, a bit more, like, not as simple as that. Jesse Goff. What if One Shot, Resurrection V, Vegeta never turned good? Perhaps surviving scientists wanted to re-establish the Empire for better labs or tech. Ah, Jesse, you should check out my What If Vegeta Never Turned Good series. That will definitely... Oh, Resurrection V. Oh, like, as in the sequel to that one. That could be cool, you know? The Zenkai boost would be pretty redonkulous and stuff, so I'd pay to see that. Kirby163. What if Vegeta gave up fighting after the Cell like he said he would? What would he be doing instead? Probably he would have ended up going into, like, cookery, because he did that in Super. He'd either do that, or he probably would end up just going wandering the stars and stuff like that for something to do. So, he would definitely be wandering around trying to find his lot in life. Gobi. What if he did a parody of the DK rap but with the Z Fighters? That would require a bit more improv, but, you know, I'd say, like, DT Dragon Team. Yeah, and I think I could make that work, but maybe in the fullness of time. You know, if I'm drunk enough. Wild Wolf Gaming. What if Android 16 was revived after the Android saga? Well, the thing is, though, he is a robotic life form, so unfortunately, I don't think Shenron can do that. I think they actually tried to do that in the original show, but unfortunately, they were not, like, able to do it because he wasn't, yeah, he was not organic life form. So it would be depending on whether they were able to find a way to be able to like, you know, find some way to be able to like bring back the essence. But even if you made an Android 16B, it wouldn't be the same 16. Again, it's all about identity and experiences. Red Dragon Force 2. What if Oolong fused with Shin? Who would control the fusion? Oolong, of course, because Oolong has a bigger personality and it's not a wet blanket like Shin. So, Oolong Shin, Pig Supreme Kai.
Then I will be able to get my justice. No, panties! Get justice for panties. Yeah.
Smash Ultra. If the universe were based on Japan and Egypt like the other world and Beerus, why not Greece and Scandinavia like Olympus and Asgard? Hey, I'd be down for like seeing more like Grecian Scandinavian and Viking mythology. That would definitely be cool. In fact, I think the Geeks for Fun channel actually do something like the Dragon Ball Norse. So that's definitely a lot of fun. Okay, let's see. Janik Okami. What if Universe 6's planet Sadala was called Kakarot instead? It'd almost be like Goku would say, "Hey, cool! This planet's named after me." Like, there'd be King Bardock, almost. So, Goku's father in a different universe is actually the king. Vegeta would be like, wasn't expecting that twist. Didn't see that coming. Hunt 2120. What if Kakarot never hit his head but still stayed good? How would you do this? Bardock personality, perhaps? How would the story change? Probably, like, Goku, even if he didn't have the head bump, he probably would have mellowed out a bit, realizing that he actually has a good life. Probably just be a bit more passive-aggressive, not as caring and stuff, but eager to fight. And definitely, like, make sure that the weaker people were not, like, harmed or in any way, but he wouldn't, like, have any, like, love or anything like that in the traditional sense. Manifesto. What if only one universe after the Tournament of Power didn't get revived after Unit 17's wish? Universe 9, my choice. Just to actually have consequences, at least. It probably would be Universe 9, because I feel like Goku and Gohan and all that stuff, that probably would be affecting, because they fought Bergamo, Basil, and Lavender. And, and, yeah, I definitely feel like it would have a bit more of an impact, because they met them. And also, don't destroy the universe with the pretty attractive cat girl in it. Hop doesn't deserve that. And Sorrel. Don't do that to them. How dare they? Matthew S. What if Jiraiya turned Goku into an android? The Infinity Engine provided infinite energy and stamina. Probably if that were the case and Goku retained any memory of his, he probably would not be as happy about it. Because these are like ill-gotten gains in his own opinion. So I don't think it would go down well, but he would certainly be mega strong. So I'd have to play the sound in that regard. Okay. Gobi. What if Gohan grew a beard by the end of Z? I'm just saying I'd make him look older and better in general. Man, future Gohan with a beard. Like, I did that in What If Vegeta stayed fused to having Gohan with a beard. It was so cool. Like, he looked so cool as it. Like, Gohan with a beard would look amazing. He looked so rugged. Again, I think Videl would have a field day. Red Dragon. Great Needle is confronted by the other Z fighters. Hey guys, I'm not evil. I just like to bother Goku. Of Vegeta. Tell me more. Let's have a chat, shall we? Great Needle and Vegeta joining forces. Nice. Craig Twitchell. What if Jiro accidentally fused with Goku or Bulma while studying the Potara earrings? And what if Jiro was in the Tournament of Power? He probably would have some mechanical, like, exosuit for him to fight in. Like, sort of like, Robotnik type stuff. Or what, like, Moscow is. And if he did fuse with Goku or Bulma, probably would have been an interesting fusion. Probably Goku would have had the bigger personality, though. So Jiro would have been mostly along for the ride. Pyro Jack Daniel. Not sure if this was asked, but how would the What If Bardock convince the Saiyans would be different if it was the super variant of Bardock? Probably, oh, South Park Canadian accent. I'll say, hey guys, I'm not evil. I just like to bother Goku. Okay, let's chat there, buddy. Ah! And all that stuff. There you go. But in terms of super variant, not really that much different. Just a bit softer in that regard. But I think the softly thing was what the Bardock in my story did as well, so probably not much different in that sense. Okay, Jesse Golf. What if there are 2 future Trunksters arriving in the present? That probably would have caused like some like confusion and stuff, and one of them might thought they're the imposter, and then probably it would have almost been like talking to themselves, like, you know how sometimes you have conversations with yourself, it would just be actually a manifestation of it in person. So yeah, it could be funny. Eternal Apprentice. Hey Masako and Co. I've been thinking about this for a while, but if the cast of Dragon Ball were in My Hero Academia, what kind of quirks would they have? Probably like, you know, Krillin would have the Destructo disc in that type of thing, being able to like spin things spin things so fast you could turn almost anything into buzzsaws, that kind of stuff. With Goku, probably just, you know, he becomes a mythical dragon fighter, that type sort of stuff. So again, Eternal, there are so many like different, you know, facets you could have to that, but you know, it's definitely a very good thought experiment. Manifesto. What if Shin did his job right part 2 in the future? I don't really think so, because I think we managed to do that in one go. So I think that was a one-parter. So that was a one-shot. So I don't think we're not planning a part 2. Panda Wok. What if the Saiyans enslaved instead of exterminated? Menial tasks are beneath them. Well, if they subjugated, like if they did that with the Tuffles, then they would have become the scientist people. Like, you know, they would have gotten the really probably they would have just had Tuffles doing the menial jobs and stuff like that instead of just destroying them entirely. Then the Saiyans would have just done what they did best and that stuff. Craig Twitchell, April Fool's theory, Jiro never hated magic. Well, you would need to find a way to be able to make that work. And just find some experience that he had that was positive, that would make him a bit less, you know, antagonistic towards it, almost. Okay, Shark Jumping Walrus. What would be the traits you would like to see in the original characters, and what are traits you don't like seeing in original characters? I actually did a video called How to Make an OC. That can give you the basics there, Walrus. But I like to see characters that have good banter, good endearment, you know, likes having a bit of jape and stuff like that, but knows their limits. Like, don't make them too buff and strong, because otherwise you're just going to end up making them very unlikable. So you just need to have, like, quirks and a certain degree of modesty. So you would certainly need to have that kind of stuff. So just be aware of that. Vulcan, thoughts on Vic Mignogna? Have you met him before? I have met him before. I met him at a convention in 2013. And, you know, I met him. So there you go. Fallen. Hey, Masako, think about this. What if Beerus wasn't bluffing, or what if Monarcha was as strong as Beerus said? I did do a video about this, of what Monarcha could have been. So do check that video out, Fallen. But I do want to do a what if in the future of like Monarcha. What if Monarcha was as strong as he was? And he was like, he was a being who did not want this power, but he had it anyway. And he's now in this mortal struggle of like what to do. And he hates having that what if someday. Maybe as a future April Fool what if. So who knows? Red Dragon Force. Shin and Oolong fusion name is Shenlong. Shenlong! Oh man, that would be so confusing with Shenron. Yeah, Shenron and Shinlong. You know, that would be that would be funny. And Vulcan, what if Goku found Broly on his way to Namek? Fun idea. If Goku found Broly back then, probably would have been interesting, but I think Paragus would have been a bit antagonistic about it. But they would have had to be a lot more convincing and stuff like that. And they would have met Frieza. And I feel like Paragus would have gotten in the way, and Frieza would have been annoyed, but Broly would have powered up, and that probably would have ended in bye-bye Namek. That probably be the case. But anyway, that was the last what if of the day. So thank you so much, everybody, for all of your queries and questions. We really do appreciate your time here, spending it with us and contributing to the channel. It really does help support it, meaning that we can carry on making videos like this. So all I've got to say is I hope you're all staying safe out there. Oh, now Crystal Laura comes in with the last minute one. Snipe. If you were to do an origin story of Tien, Krillin, and others, What would also would you have Saiyan's Scholars videos on GT? And what would you... Oh, have you seen Saiyan Scholars videos on GT? I haven't. What would they do? I would just have like a thing of basically us understanding like Tien's backstory, how he got to be what he was, how he met Chaozu. And Krillin, just seeing more of his time at the Shaolin Temple, us kind of understanding him in a different way. You know, just kind of building up on what we sort of already know. But anyway, I think that's pretty much answered the question, Krista. But anyway, thank you so much for contributing, everybody. It really does help support the channel. And all that remains to be said is, I shall see you for the next video coming out on Saturday, which will be What If Hercule Trained Like Goku Part 10. So until then, everybody, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you, everybody. Catch you later.